like pumpkin, suddenly sagged, and her ladyship let out a gentle sigh of relief that her ordeal was finally over. Bridie pointedly placed the new baby well away from its mother, not even proclaiming that she'd had a girl. Nell caught the older woman's eyes, saw the fear in them, and all at once the joy and wonder she'd felt at the miracle of new life was extinguished. This baby wasn't intended to live. Bridie was not going to slap its little back or breathe into its tiny mouth to help it survive. It was meant to die. "Is it really over now?" Lady Harvey asked, her voice just a hoarse whisper. "Oi, it's over now, my lady," Bridie said, as she quickly tied the cord and cut it. "Just the afterbirth to come. You'll be able to get some sleep and forget it all." Nell looked down at the motionless, silent baby lying on the bed. Her younger brothers and sisters had all been ugly and purple, with bald heads at their birth. They'd squalled with anger at their speedy arrival into a harsh new world. But this one was pretty, with dark hair and a mouth like a little rosebud. Nell thought that was perhaps because it was ordained to go straight to heaven. "Did it die?" Lady Harvey asked sleepily. The angry red veins on her face and neck had already faded, but she looked gaunt and pale. Her long golden hair, Bridie's pride and joy, was matted and dull. Nell could hardly believe this was the same young woman she'd always admired for her serene elegance and beauty. Bridie merely glanced sideways at the infant as she massaged her mistress's belly. "My lady, I'm afraid so," she replied with a break in her voice. "But perhaps that's just as well." "Just let me see it," Lady Harvey asked. Bridie nodded at Nell, who took up a piece of flannel, wrapped it around the baby and lifted it up. Lady Harvey reached out one finger to run it down the infant's cheek, and then turned her head away as the tears came. "God's will," she whispered, "but I'm grateful for his mercy." Bridie nudged Nell towards the door. "Take it to the still room, then you go to your bed," she whispered. "I'll deal with it later when I've finished here." Holding the tiny, lifeless baby in her arms, Nell walked quickly down the corridor towards the back stairs. Briargate Hall was as silent as a crypt. All the other servants had been sent to the London house 3 weeks ago to prepare it for Sir William Harvey's return from America. He had been there for almost 2 years, and this, of course, was the reason why Bridie hadn't attempted to save the baby. If she knew who its father was, she wouldn't say. She had guarded her mistress's secret pregnancy as if it were her own. Even when she was compelled to include Nell in the conspiracy because she couldn't handle the birth alone, she told her nothing more than that her ladyship was carrying an unwanted child. It was the end of April, and it was only yesterday they'd finally seen signs of spring after a long, bitterly cold winter. It was going to be another fine, warm day today, too, because the sun was already streaming in through the east window by the back stairs. In the huge mirror beside the window, Nell could see herself reflected. The image shocked her, not so much because she looked so untidy, her apron stained and her cap all askew, with strands of hair hanging down, but because the night's events had suddenly aged her. Just 24 hours ago, she'd looked like any other 16-year-old housemaid, neat and demure in her starched uniform, her cheeks pink from running up and down the stairs, and a sparkle in her dark eyes because Baines, the butler, wasn't here to keep reprimanding her. Her mind had been on Ned Travers, who had said he'd meet her in Lord's Wood that afternoon. He was about to enlist in the army, and all the village girls wanted to be his sweetheart. Nell wasn't exactly sure that was what she wanted, but it was good to think he wanted her. Nell knew she wasn't blessed with beauty. She took after her father's side of the family, as all her brothers and sisters did. They were short and sturdy, with black straight hair and dark brown eyes. Ned had said she had a complexion like cream, but that was probably only sweet talk. Her mouth was too small, her nose a little too big, and her eyebrows too bushy. She didn't get to meet Ned, so she'd never know whether he liked her for herself, or because he thought a plain girl like her might be easy. Bridie dropped her bombshell mid-morning and made it quite clear Nell was not to leave the house for any reason.